To become a pro stress surfer takes practice. Currents of daily life change and throw us off balance. The key is not to give up and ask for help when you need it. Students, teachers, and parents were thrown for a loop by the ever-changing realities of school during the COVID pandemic.
It's been hard. I think the going from totally virtual, then into hybrid, then we were back to virtual, and then we were in person. There was a lot of changes that needed to be made really quickly.
You couldn't actually be there and to play, like at recess with your friends and stuff, or be able to really talk to them, because the whole time you just had to learn.
It wasn't that fun at all, because you didn't get to be at school with your friends. All you did was go on a screen with them. Being in normal school, you can actually learn better, but when you're in virtual, you don't learn as much.
The people that like to sing in music can't sing because of COVID, and for art, we have to bring our own art boxes so we don't spread germs with the other one.
I think it helped kids understand that they don't have it as bad as they think. I think that brought people closer together, because when you're in quarantine, you're just with your family. I mean, sure, you can't see family outside your house, but at least you get the time with your parents that you will not usually have.
I've been teaching for 16 years. This year, the relationships I had with the parents were so unique, because in the beginning we were communicating so much, through the computer and emails, but they were so understanding. We did used a lot of literature for social emotional feelings, lots of time talking about that. A lot of class meetings where we could just discuss, sitting in a circle, how we're feeling, where we're at. And then a lot of play, a lot of outside play time, and just letting them feel, you're back at school, this is where you belong, we'll do our best, we'll keep you safe. I have a lot of joy seeing how far they've come. I really, truly think we don't give kids enough credit. They're resilient, but they do need to feel safe and comfortable, and they need to feel welcome, and school is an important place for them to be. Your children are so different at school than they are at home, and that's a good thing. That's how you want them to be, and it's hard as a parent to play both roles with your child.
The total change and breakdown of routine was really hard. Watching him crawl under his desk in the first online learning session, completely melting down, unable to look into the computer. This is a kid who can interact with other kids normally in school, and I couldn't get him out from underneath his desk, and he's sobbing. He was afraid everyone was going to be looking at him, because you can see all this, everyone's faces on the screen.
The academics are, of course, so important in why we go to school, a big part of why we go to school, but these kids needed more, just more emotional, social help, regulation, just those kind of pieces. If you came into my classroom in a typical year, we're in groups. Those kids are in a group of 5, and we're sharing materials. And then when they came back, this year, their desks were, 6 feet apart and spaced all over. So there was that piece, even for them, I know they could feel it. And the mask piece as well. With that age, children in elementary school, they need to see your expression.
Although school is important, the health and happiness of students is really the most important thing. Communication is key. If your child is struggling, reach out to the teacher. It is hard for teachers to assess how kids are doing, especially with online learning.
I felt like I couldn't reach all of them in one day the way you can in person. When they're in front of you, wow, that kid's got that. Oh, I know what to do right now. But on a screen, it's just, these adorable faces looking at you. And are they looking at you because they're, totally taking in what you're saying, or are they watching the television behind you? I think all of a sudden the world got to see what teachers do. I'd have parents say, I only have one, and you have 25 or 30 of them. We got to see, it was like opening up the classroom to everybody. This is what we do. This is, why we're here. And I think it gave parents an appreciation and maybe the community appreciation, and also us for, what parents have to do and how they've, stuck with their kids through all of this. I'm pretty positive watching our community. People are keeping each other safe, people are getting vaccinated, and it's just a slow and steady. We'll get there. Be compassionate and be kind and show people grace and patience, because it was a difficult year for a lot of people.
Anxiety and stress tend to be internalized and often come out at home, not at school.
It was a lot of all angles disappointment. Can't play with your friend anymore, had to move, don't see your dad as much, can't even go to school.
During online classes, taking short 10-minute breaks to get kids outside, do some stretching, pet the dog, can clear their minds. Recognize the value of organized activity in your child's former life before COVID.
Things were ripped apart from them so fast and without warning. So all of a sudden, they couldn't see their friends anymore. They couldn't go to the park. They couldn't see anyone outside of their household. No longer in school. That doesn't go away overnight.
I wasn't really able to do soccer during that time. I hated it so much.
We don't get to play on the playground. We just run around the playground.
There's still some things that aren't back to normal, because now we have to wear masks, and we can't go anywhere on the playground anymore.
I think having a best friend was huge for him. Someone that was in our bubble. We didn't watch the news, kind of kept him from that, and when he had questions, I tried to answer them as honestly as possible. I didn't try to shield him from anything.
We are all experiencing the effects of a collective long-term trauma.
I foresee ongoing challenges, socialization problems in these young kids. They've had a year now without it. And how do you bounce back and go into the classroom then with all of the students wearing masks, sitting 6 feet apart, not being able to touch your other kids or play tag on the playground? That's difficult.
I do think we are building a very resilient generation of people. These children that are going through the COVID pandemic now are forced to figure out how to deal with their feelings, how to cope with stress, how to respond to things that change on a dime. 1 minute they're going to school, the next minute school is shut down, and then they're expected to do school online. So I think that is one thing that I hope for the future, is that the children of this generation are going to be very adaptable and very resilient. We as adults have to provide them with the tools to do that.
Academics will come. Their mental health is far more important than a math sheet or finishing a book report. We have to protect our child's mental health.
So what can adults do to help kids through these tough times?
They could offer to help, or tell them not to stress about anything, because it's gonna be okay.
My mom is very encouraging. It's really been just trying our hardest to hang out with people that I used to be able to.
It's important to check in with kids, discuss their feelings, communicate with teachers, and keep expectations realistic. If all that doesn't feel like enough, reach out for more help.
Please don't hesitate to reach out to a qualified child therapist in our community. A great place to start is resources at school. All of our schools have excellent school counselors, school psychologists, mental health professionals. They can help kind of assess the situation and determine what the next step is. At the Mountain Crest Outpatient Clinic, we have child therapists, we have a child psychiatrist, we have resources for adults as well. Parents need to be sure they're taking care of themselves and seeking out help for managing their own emotions at the same time that they're trying to help their kids.
Experts can help us learn to handle life's tough waves and gain better balance to ride out future stress. On your journey to become a pro stress surfer, remember it's okay to wipe out. Just take a breath, pick yourself up, and when you're ready, try again.